Mostafa Belkhayat. Sometimes the road to success doesn't start anywhere near Wall Street. No glass towers, no investment firms, no inherited capital or famous last names. Sometimes the path to success begins with necessity, with a young man playing guitar on the streets of Paris, just to pay the rent for a small room. Not to be seen, not for fame, just to survive. Now imagine this. A few years later, that same young man doesn't just enter the financial markets. This journey leads him to collaborations, where one of the greatest names in music history is mentioned, Michael Jackson. His path reaches a point where he is described as someone who gained access to financial teams close to the king of pop. This story sounds like a legend. It's not a story of luck either. It's the story of a disciplined mind, of someone who refused to follow ready-made paths and chose to define trading in his own language. In Morocco, many know him as the father of modern trading. This is the story of Mostafa Belkhayat. Born on the margins, not at the center, Mostafa Belkhayat was born in Fez, Morocco, a city rich in history, culture, and tradition. But his destiny was never meant to stay within those borders. His childhood and teenage years were spent in Senegal, where his father had moved to teach Arabic. Even back then, one thing was clear. Mostafa's mind worked differently. He asked more questions, he thought deeper, he was always searching for the why behind events, not just observing what happened. That mindset slowly pushed him toward the next stage of his life, where the real test would begin. France, the test of survival. After high school, fluent in French, Mostafa moved to France to study economics. But France wasn't what he had imagined. Money was tight. There was no support system. Life quickly turned into a real test, a test of survival. To cover his expenses, he picked up a guitar and played on the streets of Paris. Freezing days, exhausting nights, when even thinking felt impossible. But he endured. For 4 full years, he worked, studied, and survived. Those years embedded something deep within him: discipline, focus, and the ability to withstand pressure. Traits that later became his true capital, not in classrooms, but in the financial markets. And from here, a new vision began to form. Mathematics, a language beyond emotion, economics wasn't just an academic field for him. It was a way to understand how money, markets, and human decisions intertwine. But along this path, mathematics stood out. Mostafa had an unusual talent for numbers. His mind communicated more easily with data than the emotion. He spotted patterns quickly and found connections others couldn't see. One professor noticed this and told him, if you think in numbers like this, your place isn't just in classroom. That moment led to a life-changing proposal, a serious entry into financial markets. Around the age of 25, Mostafa discovered technical analysis, not as indicators and signals, but as a way to understand collective market behavior. He reached a key conclusion: the market has no emotions, but it has a structure. And once you understand a structure, emotion can no longer steal your decisions. That perspective quietly laid the foundation for what came next: recognition without noise. In the late 1990s, Mostafa began publishing analysis in online forums, precise, data-driven market insights, specially focused on Japanese banking indices. No slogans, no promises, no exaggerated predictions, just numbers and logic. Slowly, his name spread among professionals, not because he claimed to predict the future, but because his analysis worked. And without realizing it, he was approaching one of the most important moments of his life. The call that changed everything. At the time, an international trading competition was taking place. Mostafa wanted to participate, but the registration fee was too high. That's when an unexpected phone call changed everything. On the other end was Nicky Milson, known at the time as financial advisor to Michael Jackson. He had seen Mostafa's analysis and was intrigued by his unique market perspective. According to later accounts, he offered to cover the competition fee, so Mostafa could test himself in a professional arena. Mostafa accepted. The result was far beyond a simple experience. His performance was outstanding, placing his name among professional traders. A single call with a profound impact, transforming him from a relatively unknown analyst into a respected name in the trading world. From trader to system architect. After that, a new phase began. Mostafa spent time working within high-level financial collaborations, spaces where Michael Jackson's name was part of the landscape. But it didn't stop. He was no longer focused solely on entries and exits. His main question changed. What is the hidden logic behind market movement? Instead of repeating existing tools, he began designing frameworks and systems capable of interpreting market behavior before it fully formed. This shift turned him from a successful trader into a trading system architect. In 2011, at a specialized event in Paris, his approach received a strong recognition and earned the Audience Choice Award. But this success wasn't sudden. Its roots went back to years when very few people knew his name. Gold Canada and building the foundation years before 2011, Mostafa experienced another crucial chapter. He moved to Canada and managed a major gold trading company. Around 2007, he supervised an important project called Mansa Musa, later recognized as a pioneer in modern gold investment structures. These weren't just job titles. They shaped his mindset and deepened his understanding of markets. So when global attention came in 2011, it wasn't a leap. It was the result of a long, quiet journey. And after all of this, Mostafa made a decisive choice to return home. Returning to Morocco, building a new generation. Mostafa returned to Morocco, not just to continue personal success, but to transfer knowledge, to build, to open a new path. He founded his own trading academy and began educating a new generation of traders, a generation trained to see markets structurally, not emotionally. That's when the title, Father of Modern Trading, truly took meaning, not as an official label, but as a reflection of his influence on an entire generation. But the story didn't end there, because the world was changing and Mostafa wasn't about to fall behind. Leaping into the future, AI and a springboks. As global markets accelerated and artificial intelligence advanced, Mostafa realized that the future of trading couldn't rely solely on human capacity. Years of teaching had shown him that even the smartest traders eventually fall behind. Not from weakness, but because data volume exceeds human limits. That's where the next leap began. In the UAE, Mostafa founded Springboks AI, a project combining financial markets with artificial intelligence and quantum computing. In 2025, at the AIM conference in Abu Dhabi, the Springboks trading bot generated over $15,000 profit in just 6 minutes from a $100,000 position in the highly volatile crude oil market. But this wasn't just a demo, it was a declaration, a signal of entry into the future, where experience, discipline, and technology move together. Mostafa Belkhayat's journey wasn't a sudden breakthrough. It was the result of years of building, trial and error, pressure, and hard decisions. He proved that in financial markets, the winner isn't the one who trades the most, but the one who understands the logic behind the market and acts accordingly. If this story resonated with you, like the video, share it with your trader friends, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next.